Welcome back to another episode of Bulletproof Mindset. Today we have Lewis McFarlane on the show and diving into his story a little bit more. Now, if you search Lewis McFarlane on Spotify or YouTube, you're going to see a ton of podcast interviews of really what he's been up to in the coaching space. Now, Lewis is definitely one of the high-performing coaches, especially in Scotland. Now, the service and attention, care, compassion, empathy that he gives to his clients is remarkable, and is why I wanted to get him on the show, but more so find out a wee bit more about how he became the man that he is today. Where did peak performance come from? And really diving into the challenge he faced as a young coach, working 60 hours within a week, working between 4 different gyms and just hustling. Now today you're going to hear of the mistakes he made as a coach and how he overcame them, and really where he's at in his business today. It's such a fascinating chat. So before we get into today's conversation, I need a favour for you guys. If you're new around here, I release episodes every Monday and Thursday at 6 a.m. I have not missed for the last 2 years, and I don't plan on missing for the next 2 years at the very least. But I need a favour. The best way you can support us is by leaving a 5-star rating on Spotify. If you're watching over on YouTube, leave a comment below. What sort of questions do you have on Lucy's story? Is there anything that I may have missed? Or just show some love. That would go a long way. Make sure you're subscribed, got the notifications on, all that malarkey. But without further ado, I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and have a great day. Let's get into it. It's going to be a wee bit weird because I've been talking to you for 2 hours before we got a fat pump. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, you're probably wondering, like, why is Dale bigger than what he normally is? It's because I've got this meaty chest pump.
Yeah, we done lift and run this morning.
That's the first time I've done a push session since the last time you and Callum worked out.
Always going to do a push with me.
Push day, every day.
So what were you train? Push again?
It's push pull legs.
Always push.
So you've experienced tons of different training modalities, and you're saying out there, like, push pull legs is a key place in your heart.
I always go back to it. I'll always go back to it. I've done, powerlifting, I've done endurance, I've done your hybrid training, done upper lower, done the Arnold Encyclopedia fucking periodization all up to double sessions 7 days a week. I've done Greg Plitt MFT 28 when you do morning lightweights, evening heavyweights, all that I've done. I used to live in bodybuilding.com, and new workout, this is the Dorian Yates Blood and Guts program. This is the Chris Geethan.
Flex loses arm workout. Rich Biana's 8-hour workout day. Have you done that?
Bro, used to go to, it was a half day school and academy when I was maybe 16 or something, or 15, fuck knows how old I was. And I went, school finished at 1, and I went to the gym at 1:30 with, I think it was 16 protein shakes. I brought the tub, the shaker, and I done the 8-hour arm workout. And I took it was Jack 3D original.
Oh man,
that is it. Had methamphetamine in it. So, you just get loaded. And I'm in there hitting arms for, I think got to go to hour 6 and I started to flag.
We got to 4.5 hours and I was like, I don't feel good, man. I feel like I'm going to tear something. You shouldn't be tearing something at the age of, so you would have been 16, so I'm a couple of years older than you. I was 19, 20 when I, see when he posted that on YouTube, he just looked cool, didn't he?
Yeah.
You'll be wondering, who is this guy? Sadly, Rich Miana's passed away, and what a weird person he was. But he was a goat, man. He was the first person I ever seen to call bullshit on fake natties.
He was real as fuck. I watched his documentary recently. How he used to just sit in the hot tub at night with Ben and Jerry's. And, we used to sleep with a gun.
He was so paranoid.
Loaded hand pistol in his bed, and used to wake up and drink that red drink.
Oh, I forgot about that, man.
In the morning, do vacuums, and he'd be talking about his meal prep companies. He's his supplements as well, real food.
Yeah.
It was just powdered something.
It's like when you go to space, it's like fucking the portions of food that just evolve into something. So inspiration wise then, you're always into fitness, but you kind of done a wee bit of, looking back, you were a wee skateboarder to begin with. How did that transition?
Wasn't always into fitness, I wouldn't say. I actually used to look at my brother and laugh because he was into it before me. He's 5 years older than me.
Right, okay.
Right, and I remember, if we go way, way, way back, he said to me he was, carrying a bit of fat and stuff. He's like, Lewis, I'm going to get in great shape. I was like, no chance, fatty. He reminds me of that. I actually called him fat, and I was hardly any better. I was a little kind of skinny fat skateboarder at the time, only cared about landing kickflips and filming YouTube videos and stuff like that back then. But, lo and behold, he actually went and done it, and he got in shape. He started running. He developed a physique. He dropped the fat. He started looking better. So I was quite inspired by that. I was like, I actually done it. Do you know that way? It's like, you don't have any evidence or proof. I didn't know about YouTube bodybuilding. I didn't know about any fitness content. I just knew he got Men's Health magazines delivered every month, and I was like, that's gay.
It's like looking at pictures of like half naked men.
Like, why the fuck's he doing that? But then I slowly started to understand. Like, I got to about 16, and your values change. People in your school start maybe drinking, start hanging about girls more, going to parties. And one of the things, there was always those guys in school that had like six packs. They were just really skinny. I wasn't one of those guys. So I knew I had to work hard to change that. So I kind of disappeared one summer. I asked my brother for some advice, and Ian being Ian, he was just like, got a notepad from, he was a waiter at the time, like a waiter's notepad, and wrote down a 5-day split on it, gave it to me. 1 year straight, every morning, 5 a.m, blasting Hoop Stank out my bedroom, pull up bar in the door frame, York
pull up press ups.
Crushed it, man.
Is that, see the York, is that the one that had like the sand in them?
Yeah.
Oh, the spin ones?
Yeah, these were metal ones, a wee bit heavier, 5 kilo plates. And I ran that 5-day split every day, twice a day, before school, after school. Started cycling, stopped eating sweets, started eating fruit. Bought my first bag of like strawberry cream whey protein.
Where did the determination come from?
Just
really
the
attention that people were getting.
Wanted to change, man. Because it was quite. I saw guys getting like girls. It all came from.
Comes from the attention.
Yeah, I think I just wanted attention more than anything else, and it was. I felt like what I needed to do was change and build the body, because girls like their Hollister models and everything. So I just kind of like, I done it to get a higher caliber of girl, and I was determined to change me, because I didn't like how I looked as well, and I used to finish school and put Still Game on, for example, and do setups for the entire like box set of Still Game. You're talking hours of setups. So I went into this kind of like weird, like fuck hard mindset. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm really
David Goggins before David Goggins was a thing type thing.
Yeah. Cycle from my house to school every day, then cycle from the school to the gym, then gym back, and cycle everywhere, and just lift every day, and started eating healthier and eating better and learning macronutrients, tracking things on like a notepad and pen. And I just, because I was getting away from skateboarding at the time, I just found this next passion, this next kind of purpose, this next thing that I was maybe going to attach my identity to, which I did. Yeah. And just went all
it makes sense why you're 10 years in the game of personal training and built a fantastic brand like that, like kind of younger kid than you. What was the reason for switching from skateboarding to that? Was that because was it the injury, or was it just there was the fall out of love for it?
Yeah, probably a couple of things. Like
kickflips weren't impressing the girls as much.
No.
The dude in the 5 to 10 year old category, 10 to 15, so a wee bit different.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely one injury. I got like Osgood-Schlatter. It was his like patella tendonitis, essentially, in my left knee. And I'd already, hyperextended this knee. So both my knees were quite washed out by this time. So I was like, I was struggling to skate, losing a little bit of motivation. And then I started like partying a wee bit, started like drinking alcohol a wee bit. Then, it's not cool to skate. You want to go do other things, you want to hang out with other people. And then it's kind of like, I still skate now. I still would class like.
I see in your stories sometimes you kind of
I still
get the board out and
dress like a skater. Pretty much watch skate videos and stuff. I'm still really into it, but I eat shit now. See if I went on a skateboard and fall like just shy of 90 kilo.
You get more muscle on you.
A little bit less than 50 kilo when you're made of rubber and sparkles when you're younger. I kind of just floated away from it over time. It's always going to be a part of me though. I learned a lot from skating.
Well, I think it was quite interesting to see before you came on here that when I was kind of looking at what podcasts you've done, that your skating videos came up. And I thought like 2012, 2013, I remember like YouTube was getting more popular. And I remember me wanting to start my own YouTube, but I let the pressures of school and all these other things in my life to go, you're going to get laughed at for doing that. Don't post anything on YouTube. You seem to go all in that. Just always not give a fuck. It's like, I'm going to do me type of thing.
I've always not really cared what other people think. and I feel I've always loved creating content. Really enjoy documenting things, filming things, and I felt that was because if I get attached to something and I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to try my best to give it my best shot, you know, and it might not be someone else's best shot. People sometimes get lucky or have more talent or just are the just blow up, you know, but I just thought, you know, document it. I bought my wee camera, learned how to
record and edit. This was the start, These skills come back later in life.
One of my friends, you know, Ian, who I kind of like took under my wing, he was a couple of years younger than me. The skateboarding community where I grew up was a wee bit kind of like a bit oddball. You know, there was younger guys, older guys. There was a kind of chavier guy, the more kind of hippie guy. But together we were like a wee community, and we all just kind of networked with one another, and you know, traveled to different skate parks and done X, Y, Z, and just all filmed with each other, and it was cool. And it just is what it was.
I liked one of the videos, like you're doing all these flips, and then it cuts to night time, and somebody's got a torch, and they're shining it down at your feet so you can see that. I'm like, man, there's a lot of creativity in that younger self-view. So I've sent you a voice note a couple of months ago because I was watching, like, still like keep up to date. We connected. When did you start podcasting? Was that just start of this year?
Yeah.
And first time I met you, and I need to tell you this story because it's hilarious. So I didn't know much about you. I knew Callum, met him at one of the groups, and he said that, can we use a podcast studio? I thought, yeah, and he's like, I'm going to do it with my coach Lewis. He might be there a wee bit before me. So you came in, and the first thing you said to me is like, how you doing? And I was like, can I just use your gym? I'm like, yeah, of course, like, fire away. And then I start hearing these grunts, and I look out and you've got your top off. You're like, yeah, I think you're training for athletics at the time. And I was like, who's this fucking nut job, man? And I was like, what a self-centered arsehole this guy is, like, just fucking asserting his dominance in my gym. But the more I got to know you and stuff, I was like, I actually love your character. And a couple of months ago, I sent you a voice note because the graft that you put into your business is incredible. It's genuinely is incredible to watch. Like you show up, and from a business mindset, from a coaching perspective, I know there's a lot of work that goes into the ebooks that you're designing, the program design, keeping up to date with your clients, managing people or coaching your team, and still delivering a high caliber of coaching to your clients. So I had to send you a voice and I go, like, man, I see you're working hard, and it's what I say, like, it's fucking awesome to see.
When you sent that, I think I was having a little bit of like a low self-worth day.
Aye.
I was like a little bit fucking but that really pivoted things, and it's amazing. I think the power of kind of social media and networking people can be good in that respect when you get a positive voice note.
We don't do it enough. It's something I had in my kind of gratitude side of things. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and give more compliments, like true connection and compliments to, like, whether it is through social media or people that I've seen the street or seen the gym, because we don't do it enough. It's weird, isn't it? The power of going, here, man, you're fucking working hard. It's like, fuck. Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm going to sit back up in my chair and get to it.
My chest high and do this shit, man. I really appreciate that, man. And I think one thing, what you were talking about, like taking the top off and training, I've always just done me, you know.
I love it though. I like knowing who you are now. Like, you know what? That was more a reflection of me making that judgment than what you were actually doing. I was like, no, what? You're fucking at peace of who you are. That is awesome. What a style to get to.
And I hear this all so often with some of my best friends now, but people say, I hated you before I got to know you. I was like, why though?
Aye.
They were like, you just were doing things. I was like, yeah, I was just being me, like unapologetically me, I guess. And it took a lot of time. Like we might even dive into it today in this podcast.
Oh yeah, you get a crazy story. I definitely want to kind of go through the journey of like the peaks and troughs of the dark days that you've been through, for sure.
So it's like you get to a point, you just kind of like learn to let go of either other people's opinions, but most importantly, the opinion you hold over yourself.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
You know.
Yeah. So I want to go into like how you eventually got to that point. But sounds from a young age, you're posting content, skateboarding, kind of not giving a fuck. To put it politely, like you've had that in you, and then you go through school, and then you went, you know what, I'm going to do this personal training stuff. Did you know what personal trainers were, or? Yeah. So, but back then it was like I knew a couple of people on, like, say, social media, and it was selling like plans. It wasn't coaching. It was buy this ebook
and it would have like the push-pull legs by insert influencer's name with a diet protocol and this. So I thought that was online coaching.
Structure.
Or coaching. So I was actually an online coach before I was a PT, and I was an online coach before I was in college like learning and get my sports and exercise science degrees and whatnot. Like I just started selling programs. I've done really well at a young age, and I've always been quite entrepreneurial because I used to even make skateboards for people. Like if I had an old skateboard that was all chipped and thingied, I'd get a saw and carve it into like a weird, strange shape.
Oh, nice.
And buy like big wheels from eBay and sell them as cruiser skateboards and make them on decks and paint them and graffiti.
That's sick.
I used to do loads of weird things and like and I used to steal from shops and sell the produce on. I've always sold things, so I was like, I'm going to start selling my IP, like intellectual property, wrapped up into Word document. The
Lewis McFarlane push-pull legs, but
pretty much. And I had the 8, the 12, and the 16 week package. 8 weeks, it was $49.99. 12 weeks, I think $59.99, and the daddy
High
was
end.
like, I think I eventually even scaled it up to like a $129, $129.99 for like this 24 week crazy PDF thing that I'd made. That was like, you know, over 100 pages that I'd sent to someone. And it was a lot of stuff, man.
A lot of words.
I'd map out everything, periodized, all bespoke as well. It used to take me ages changing people's names around. And I used to work people's calories out from week 1 all the way to the end.
Or gradually progressing it and reducing
tweaking
it.
And like giving them refeeds and tweaking this. And back then it was like, you know, you're using your phone calculator to like 4 times.
Like, you didn't have MyFitnessPal. You had to really work this out.
Yeah, and I'd made a meal selection library, training selection, like made it all.
Grafting, yeah.
Grafted all the shit. My mum's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm online coaching. And I'd be watching vlogs on YouTube of like Joe Delaney, Rob Lipset.
This is the life.
And she was like, well, what are these people? I was like, I'm going to be one of them. And I was like just finishing up in school and making, you know, £200,
£400,
£400, £1,000 from like Instagram. And I was like, what the fuck? Felt pure jailbait sending my bank details to people online, and it would be like, if somebody messaged me for the program, I'd just send them. It was not like, hi, thanks for reaching out. It'd be like, here's the price. And then it'd be like, aye, 12
Very
weeks.
transactional, eh?
12 weeks. And you know what? Wouldn't speak to them once they got I'd email them the thing once they got the plan. Some people would just message me in 12 weeks, killer result.
And you're like,
Killer result. And I'm like,
this works.
the fuck? I remember this chick, like post-pregnancy, really overweight, stretched out stomach from like
carrying a baby and
carrying
stuff.
a
Yeah.
baby, you know. Done like 2 of the 8-week programs back to back and looked like beach body ready.
like,
and I was like, fuck.
I'm onto something.
People were like getting made the wee Facebook page, and people were like 5-star program, changed my life, absolutely unbelievable.
What age are you at this point? 17, 18?
17. Yeah.
So you're right into it from the get go, and I love that it's something that you've stuck with and you've evolved. But what's crazy is like from like 10 years time, the caliber and the standards of what online coaching is this day.
Yeah.
So I remember plans I was buying 10 years ago. And I've said often on the podcast that I've spent well over £10,000 on different programs. I bought Sadiq Havoc's program.
Yep,
That's what he delivered to me. He delivered to me a 5-day-a-week split, a macros next to it. It was on Excel. Was it Excel? No, it was a PDF. It was in my emails every day, clicking the button, finding it, zooming in, like 8 to 12 reps, 8 to 12 reps. And it was just something you done. And it's crazy, like as a coach at the start, you're thinking, right, you just need to follow this and this is it. So how did that evolve? Like how, like from there, like when did you get into actual personal training and working in a gym?
So I started working for the council first as a gym instructor. Once I got qualified, I actually had to I lived up in like Dundee for a couple of months to do my qualification through Sports and something Scotland.
Yeah.
You know, to become a PT. Passed that with flying colours, stayed with my mate while I was up there, which was cool. But I started working for the council first.
Was that just the gradual, were they kind of funneling you in there at the start, or was that just something you chose? It
was like pay for the course.
Right, okay.
You know, I didn't I finished college after like a year, and I was like, I know what I want to do. I'm just going to do PT. I'm just going to pay for it. It was like $2,000 or something. So I went up to Dundee and done that. Came back and I had to have that qualification to get a job doing fitness instructor, for council. And then I, worked around every gym in North Ayrshire, all the K leisure gyms and stuff. And I got really well known in North Ayrshire. And even clients that work with me now say, I always remember you because you actually would go out your way to communicate in the gym floor, come up, be like, no, elbows in on this, tweak this, chest up on that.
Like a real love for it.
Loved it, loved form, loved showing people like how to contract the bicep better, hold this, and just loved it all. And over time, I think there were 6 different gyms in North Ayrshire. I used to work every single one of them as a relief staff. But put in like 60-hour weeks, being in different gyms, constantly, and built up a decent rapport doing that until got in some trouble.
Yeah,
had to leave those gyms because I was like, running my own shit. Still
taking side payments and all that. Yeah,
a little bit of that. Yeah, and
I forget. Like, is that still the same model? Do you know? Like you work in and they take a percentage.
So you couldn't PT back when I was there.
You're not, right.
Just you could PT, but it was not allowed to be called PT, and you weren't allowed to get charged for it or anything. But I'd be like, "Do you want some extra help out with?"
I have this 129 PDF that you can download.
PDF, and like that was like the gyms were my funnel for the PDF.
So did they chuck you for that, or did you say like this can't continue?
There's a few things because I was trying to like build the social media and using their
being controversial,
take my tap half in the fucking gym. They were just hating on me,
Right.
So like that led to, maybe Glasgow's where I need to go. So this is maybe like 18. It was like 18, 19. Glasgow's where I need to go. Got to Glasgow, started working at Snap Fitness, found it really intimidating. Coaches we know now worked in that gym. I was like, they've got like 40, 50 clients, gym floor. And I've got like...
You went from big dog, top dog to...
I wouldn't even say big dog. I was really like unconfident still.
Oh, were you? Right.
Still like I was competent in coaching, so a one-to-one setting, but new people, groups.
See, in the council environment, I take it there wasn't much like competition because I guess all the good coaches, and I want to say that like lightly. I don't think this is a blanket statement more than anything, but someone who has more of a passion to personal training and stuff like that, they're going to pivot into their own private setting or to another private gym eventually.
For sure. I think they maybe saw that in me, and maybe like tried to compress it a wee bit. I think they did, and kind of hindsight and reflection, because they, I was always the one getting in trouble, even though I was the one that was like, I'm going to fucking make
building
some of this.
Community, yeah.
Like, I'm going to actually, like, you guys will stay here for the rest of your lives, be like a glorified cleaner, and I will fucking do something in this industry and space. But I was always the one that was like, he's a bit odd, he's a bit this, he's a bit... But no, I just like, I think it was just, I actually cared.
Why do you think you had that? Where do you think that mindset started developing from? Like, is there any, like, what's your... I guess one thing to bring this back to, I think you get a lot of, like, from a role model perspective, from what I've listened to, you hold your brother in that high account of like...
Fucking wrong pipe.
your brother is up there with one of your role models. What's your mum and dad like? Are they together? Are they...
Mum and dad together. Dad was a cop all his life.
I thought you were going to say cock. Do you want some water?
Get some of this in me. I'll continue. Small intermission. Yeah, dad, hard-working cop all his life. Mum worked various different jobs, hospital, a nursery teacher, even worked in Greg's and stuff. Both of them, 2 jobs.
Putting a
growing
shift,
up, fucking hard work. And I've got a brother, got a sister, both really big inspirations to me. Sister's a business owner as well, brother's a business owner. Always looked up at them.
You the youngest?
I'm the youngest of 3. But I just look up at, like, mum and dad never said, do this, be a lawyer, be a doctor. They were like, do what kind of makes you happy. Try hard in school, work hard. And I did that, but I was a fucking idiot in school, a troublemaker, always hyperactive, I'm the guy that was like kick a basketball at the PE ceiling roof and take a panel out and stuff. I was like that guy. And I only really pulled my socks up towards the tail end of school and got a couple of qualifications so I could leave and say,
yeah, it's what it is. You think that's it's almost like that's the funnel that you're trying to be led down.
Yeah.
And
But they never told me I had to do that. And I respect them for that now, because it allowed me a lot more opportunity for free thinking. And I think because my sister was super entrepreneurial, you know, and she left the country when she was 18 to travel and build her business and stuff, they kind of like, Ali's not bad. And
what's she doing now?
She has like a photography consultancy.
Nice.
And builds, it's a crazy business, so she does, super busy.
She's in New Zealand now, isn't she?
Yeah, resident of New Zealand with her partner, Leo. She pretty much makes the menus for restaurants, makes the food, photos of food, builds the menus, sells the menus. It's crazy.
It's mental, isn't
it? It's a crazy job, man.
Business models for everything, isn't it? It's
crazy, mate. Crazy.
That's cool. It's cool.
And then like does just other photography for businesses and stuff as well, but does really well. Brother, he moved to London when he was like 19 to be a musician. So again, I think my mum saw my sister do something, my brother.
She probably got all the shit at the start and then less on your brother, and so by the time it was you, it was like,
they didn't even know
just go for it.
I was just kind of fucking cutting about at that time. Like, I'm going to try this, and I go for it. Cool. So I kind of always had like free reign, which was nice. And they never held me back. Always supported it. I think they didn't really believe what was all happening until maybe a year or two ago, and they're like, "You're actually doing quite well, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Aye."
I've been trying to tell you this for 4 years.
I've not missed in 8 years, 10 years. Really tried my hardest, you know. And they just kind of gave me the chance.
That's good. That's good. So your brother and sister moving away, then did that leave this kind of like a wee bit of space for you to think, or were you a bit? Do you think that's why you lack some confidence?
I don't know, man. There was like I don't really know why I lack confidence. I always felt like I was in my own head, very deep thinker from a young age, almost to like my own default, you know. But when my sister left and when my brother left, at that time, my mum like got cancer and was really ill for a long, long time. And my dad continued working. My dad's one of those kind of classic men, don't speak about it. So I was kind of young and like no brother, no sister. Dad's still working. Mum's in the hospital. And I was like, I need to kind of just look after me, do my own thing, and hopefully make sure my dad's okay and we can look after mum, and I'll maybe tie in with my sister and my brother when I can. And I just kind of like started taking ownership of my own life, you know, doing my own shopping, eating my own style of foods, making my own dinners.
Right.
I built confidence through looking after me, you know,
fulfilling and the stuff you said you would do.
Yeah, doing the gym, you know, saving my own money, getting a job, going out and getting a job, just learning, you know.
So when did this happen with your mum?
It was like over the course of a good couple of years, because she was really ill.
Like going back and forth and all this.
Yeah, it wasn't
nice.
It wasn't just a bit. It was like she nearly was on, like, you know, the brink, man. Seeing her full bald in the hospital bed, looking really frail and skinny, was rough to see, man. Because I was like almost at peace with, you know, if that's it, you know. And I think it's a tough thing to go through at a young age. But it's hard to even pinpoint the direct age. I was maybe like 15, 16.
Yeah, so really early on.
Yeah, around that time. And I remember almost like when I told my friend for the first time, I didn't even tell like a close friend. I was like a kind of friend, because it was almost like it doesn't feel fully real yet, you know. And he didn't believe me. He's like, "No, you're taking the piss, you're lying, mate." I was like, "Bro, I'm not."
Do you think it's because of the character that you were? Like,
yeah.
Kind of this jokey character.
Yeah, jokey character, kind of like everything was sweet all the time. We just crack on. And
so in your mind, did you prepare that your mum was going to be here?
Pretty much. I kind of got came to terms with that. But again, it's like, did I really? I don't know.
And you kind of told yourself that, but
told myself the story, you know. But it was almost like ignorance at the same time. Just keep skating, just keep doing your thing, just keep like fucking.
Keep cracking on with it.
Keep doing your thing.
Yeah. So you get. It sounds like in your mind you were like, right, I kind of need to make something myself.
Yeah.
Brother, sister, they're kind of away. Dad's cracking on with his work. Mum's getting the care. So I'm going to start my thing. So you get to Snap Fitness, and is this the first time you're like, oh, this game's getting more?
I remember as I came in, then another coach came in after me, and he was like getting busy quick, and I was like, shit, how's he doing this? He's like, you just have to, go speak to people, go chat to people. But this at the same time, I was working another job as well. I was traveling up from North Ayrshire while I was still working with the council, going up to Snap Fitness and kind of splitting it. So I'll tell you a fucking wild story for a little minute. So I started working at Snap Fitness, and I was still working at K Leisure, so I was doing half Glasgow, half North Ayrshire. I was travelling up and down, even doing like mornings in K, the nights at Snap, and vice versa. So I was getting super busy, spreading myself too thin, just trying to keep on top of everything. And then another gym came into the mix. I got a friend of a friend was like, by the way, there's this gym at the south side you can start coaching out of, really good guys. And, Johnny and CJ kind of took me under their wing. Yeah. And they started referring me clients. So I started working at 3 gyms. And then
I train body and soul. I did have this. I think I was listening to you tell this, and I was like, man, you fuck Ayrshire, Glasgow, Southside, like back forth, all of it, like this mad loop.
Doing it. And then Johnny and CJ's friends, this chick was like, by the way, I've got a gym, and do you want it? And I was like, aye. So I got my own gym.
Where was this?
In Ayrshire.
Right, okay.
So I was working in Train Mind Body Soul, Snap Fitness, K Leisure, and Mon Space. So I was doing 4 gyms.
Crazy.
And I was working I started doing Snap Fitness, maybe I had 5 clients. Train Mind Body, maybe 10. K Leisure was my safety blanket because it was monthly payment. And then I had maybe 5 or 10 clients at this other gym. So for only working with 25 people.
But you're all over the place,
I was working, I was doing 70 hours.
What's income looking like at this point? Is that what kept you holding on to each one of them?
I think just back then it was all very sporadic. So it was any income was good. And I had money mindset issues. I thought get it, hold it, keep it, maintain it kind of thing.
Under the pillow.
Tuck it away kind of thing, for 100% under the pillow vibes. So I just was thinking, I remember I had a conversation with a mate. He started working in BMW, we're 18 or something. And he was started making a bit of money, sold his first car, bit of commission. Oh, look at you. He's like, well, Lewis, what do you want to do? And I'm like, see if I can make 350 quid a week and train, I'll be happy. Far surpassed that very, very quickly. But I just keep spreading myself really, really thin. I had the caveat, I was smoking a lot of weed at the time as well. Yeah,
so I wanted to, did you see when that 15, 16 window?
Everything I've told you, I was pretty much high the entire time from probably leaving school.
Is this from the skateboarder days? Is that just part and parcel of what happened?
Smoke my first joint at 13 kind of thing.
Did you keep it hidden from mum and dad?
Aye. Kept a lot hidden from mum and dad. And dad being a cop.
I was going to say, how did that?
I got caught stealing as well. When I was younger, mum didn't tell my dad.
Aye.
Never told my dad.
Put you in the cells.
Yeah, fuck. So, me and my mum, really tight, kind of more of a cuddly relationship in that sense. I'm the little one. It's just have a look at
the youngest and all
she
that.
knows I fucking smoked the pot, whatever. But pretty much all of that was high. And smoked for a long, long time after that. But started getting really busy with all these different gyms and stuff like that before it got too much.
When did it get too much then? Was that the point where you had because you had quite a harsh accident and stuff? Yeah. Was that the breaking point, or was it before that?
That was the breaking point. But I left Snap Fitness, eventually left K Leisure, and started working between Southside and my gym. But even at that, this was after the proverbial accident, So I remember one day, Snap Fitness, I was on bodybuilding prep or something, I think at the time. Snap Fitness, 5 a.m. open up, client, class. Make sure you leave at 11 to get to Clydeside, to drive to Southside, to work from maybe 2 till 4, 2 clients. And then from 5 till 9 down at Ayrshire, clients night. And I was doing that day every day.
And repeat.
And then driving back to Largs to stay at my mum and dad's. And I would drive up to Glasgow in the morning. Eventually, I was fucked. It was horrible, man. And I ended up moving to a flat in Annie's Land with a couple of mates. Bad environment, drugs, poor quality food, all this and all. It was really...
Just that bachelor's pad.
Aye. Call it a bachelor's pad, Christ.
It's the first time guys have lived on their own type of vibe.
Horrid, mate. Horrid. That's a story for a different day. But yeah, really kind of burnt out, poor quality environment for living in, and I was living that day, like you're talking 14-hour days and stuff, working, traveling, driving. And I was driving to the gym one day down in Ayrshire off the back of a working a morning shift. I was just like struggling to keep my eyes open. And I eventually just was like, 1 wee second, just close them. It might refresh them. They felt really dry. And I just fell asleep at the wheel. Woke up down a ditch after being in a head-on collision, going at like 65 miles an hour. And was like lucky to be alive, straight up, man. I've got a photo on my phone that I look back on. Car is fucked.
To remind you,
yeah, car is fucked, and like people in the ambulance, I got pulled out because it was like a busy morning, like people commuting to work. So a guy got out his car and pulled me out the car. It's like, bro, like, are you okay? Like, I've got to go to work, but like, I looked at the road. It was like the fucking road was like
full of metal and
wheels and window and stuff, and I was like, Jesus fuck, and I was covered in all this liquid, but it was just loads of dregs of coffee cups and cans of Monster, and I thought it was blood. You know, I was like, holy fuck. I was on such an adrenaline pump. The ambulance guy said because you fell asleep, you were super relaxed, so the impact didn't like shock your body. And luckily the car that I, head-on collision with crashed into, because it was kind of like one of those Mini Cooper, but the XL ones. Right, okay. Tank for a car. Yeah. So what I'd done that, and I clipped that, and my car just done.
So you're sour, or you're flipped, and
just fucking went, and his kind of went off to the side, but mine just bosh right into it. And luckily there was only one other car got involved, but I remember I stood up straight away. Once I kind of came out from being knocked out, I ran over to the guy and just hugged him. And I was like, I'm so happy you're going to be able to go home to your family today and, do this, do that. He was a bit shooken up. I think he was maybe crying a wee bit. I was definitely crying. He never pressed charges, luckily. He obviously knew I was sorry. Young guy. Ambulance, sitting in the back, eyes, vitals and stuff. I was like, fuck. And I remember telephone with my mum and dad. They came along to get us. But dad's like, what the fuck?
What's your dad like at this point? Is a lot of judgment from your dad, or is he supportive? Like, what's happening? Yeah.
Dad kind of keeps himself to himself. Really? Right. If he's upset or if he's angry, but he's generally a very caring man. Very, very similar to me. I think get a lot of traits and personality from him. But I think he was just happy to know I was all right. And I was like, can you guys drop me off at the gym? I've got clients to see. They're like, nah. Phone your clients, tell them what's happened. Coming back to the house, which you just need to chill. But the kind of mindset I was in back then, I just wanted to continue working.
I just work.
After fucking being in a head-on collision. Wild. I saw the money. I was like, I need to fulfill this because I've got this point to prove or person to see or client to help. It's like I didn't care about me. I was just literally like, I didn't even care about me at all at that time, I just wasn't looking after myself.
I was going to say, you think you're running from anything or you're masking anything? Do you think it's a money thing at this point?
Yeah, and insecurity, a point to prove, money to make, status, anything. Just self-validation, like a self-fulfilling prophecy that wasn't no one else was cared about but me. And I remember going home, sitting, and then just rolled up a joint and dealt with my problems the way I always did. Smoked a joint. My mum came out to the garage and she's like, are you smoking a joint already?
After the crash? Right.
I was like...
That's your coping mechanism then?
Coping mechanism. Life, yeah. It was like my wee fucking baby bottle, because it's what I used throughout all 15. Of it for years and years and years to deal with any stress. Happy, joint. Sad, joint. Hungry, get a joint first before you eat. Not hungry, joint, cool, pass the time.
What was like relationships like with clients? Were you just like this yoga, chilled out, strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah, pretty much.
Baggy, like cargos.
Like had a long man bun.
Right. Oh, so you did actually. I've seen one of your old YouTube videos.
Long man bun. Very holistic.
Holistic, yeah.
as the word we spoke about earlier. Cared, listened, gave sound advice, I thought. Was present, was there. Cared a lot about my clients. Gave a lot to every single session, never cut corners, never wasted time. Educated, inspired, but by the end of the day, I was fucked. Used to give everything to them. Gave everything to my clients every single day. And that burned me out as well. I used to do the 6 in the morning, 9 at night. Full, the most amount of clients I worked with at one time when I was PT, I was doing 70 sessions a week. It's not. I
remember those days, but it's because you never dream of training people for a living. You're like, man, this is a great job. It's weird. It's like almost like I always say to like Jill, because I come home at night after PTing, like when I was doing these 10-hour days, 10 sessions, and I'd come home, she's like, how's your day? And I was like, I can't speak. I have no social battery. Bro. But see, if it was a session, doesn't matter what I felt like, I had this superpower switch on. I was like, where does that come from? It's like weird. Because I've even said to Jillian about this, is like, we'll have like arguments because I'm maybe not being there in the relationship. Yeah. But then she comes up to the gym and I've turned it on for a client. She's like, we're not giving them the action. I'm like, you're right. I actually need to work on this. Fuck, like, why is that? Why is it so different when we're with our clients and then when we're with ourselves, it's not there.
It's crazy, man. I relate to that massively because I used to come home. My mum would ask me like, how was coaching today or how was this? And I was like, Mum, I cannot speak to you.
It's frustration, isn't it? You're trying to work through it.
Yeah, like, have to fucking smoke a joint to like chill.
That's where irritation and all that's coming out. Yeah.
And then after I smoked a joint, I could go and sit with my family and be like, hi.
Yeah, man.
How's it going?
Yeah. You just understand it all. So what happened after that then? You've mentioned a couple of times that you went to therapy and all this sort of stuff. Does this happen later on in your life?
I think the crash kind of kicked something off for me, definitely kicked something off for me, allowed me to maybe be like, life's precious. I'm not religious, but I definitely felt someone was kind of watching over me that day, or I got like a second chance, which is mad. It's like fucking 2 lives or some shit. I don't know, but
I'm not a religious guy, and I think I don't know. Me and James used to go into this debate. I think everything just happens, and we can make whatever it is we make of it. But yeah, he sounds like you're incredibly lucky, both to not have killed someone, but not have killed yourself as well.
Yeah,
I think the guilt must be.
I carried a lot of guilt for a long time off the back of that. Didn't want to tell a lot of people. Like, it was very like, keep this to your fucking self kind of thing. Was told by people, don't tell folk this. But that made me feel really guilty.
It's like internal judgment.
Yeah, it's like I felt pretty bad for a long time. Felt pretty low self-worth and stuff. But after all of that, I was still seeing Amy at the time and stuff. Actually, and this is how bad I felt for a long time, continued like smoking. We try to push people away from me, and push my friends away from me, push Amy away, try to break up with her and stuff. But she's quite a powder. She keep coming back, wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah. When did you meet Amy?
I met Amy. She was working in a restaurant.
You skate up, kickflip.
No,
that's how it's done.
This was around about 19.
Right.
I've been with her 7 years, known her 7 years now. Yeah, so about 19. She was working at a restaurant. My friend was working at that restaurant too, and I was like, bro, who's that?
Class.
She's like, this girl that comes down, she goes to uni in Stirling, but works here on the weekend because her family lives here. And I was like, I need to get to know her. So I just went up to her and started chatting, patched me straight away, pied me. But then I keep coming in.
Persistent.
Keep coming into the restaurant, persistent with everything I do. And keep saying hi. And one day, she got a right beamer. And then she was like, fuck, maybe I do like him. Because why am I so embarrassed? And then she came around. And then I had her in the trap.
And that was it. That was it.
7 years later, fiance, best friend.
Business
Business
partner. Yeah. I think it's class how that relationship's evolved, which we'll come on to in a wee sec. So you're pushing everyone away from you at this point in life. That when did you turn that around? When did you start realising that?
Keep digging down more holes, mate. Keep getting worse and worse mentally because I keep smoking. I had the car crash, and then
where were you training at this point? You trained at
still kept the gym down in Ayrshire in Mind Body, and I just keep working. Like off the back of it, I was like, maybe I'll change the way I work. I just said to my clients, I'm fine again, and just went straight back into like normal business,
60.
working loads of hours. I got tireder and rattier and more frustrated, and I was working for another company as well, an online coaching company.
Oh, this is the MTM era as well, yeah.
And it was a lot. It was like on top of my current job, and then taking on them. That was a fast growing egg at the time, you know. I was just like keep catching in these little fans and like going really quickly with so much growth. I couldn't even handle it, and while I felt so fucking like down about life and anxious and angry, it was just frying my brain, like doing so much, doing so many things. And there was a day, I was standing on I think it was just before lockdown or during. I think it was before lockdown happened at this time. I was standing on a balcony at the flat that I'd got. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm topping myself right now. Like, I was like, nobody cares. I don't care. I need out of this. Because I felt like the life I'd built, if this is what I thought being successful was like, or had to be like, I don't want to be successful, but I don't want to not be successful, so the only way is to not live. It was like almost like live by the sword, die by the sword. It's like you either want it and you'll muster through, or you don't want it, so you don't have nothing. And that was like the ego thing. That was like the validation thing. It was like, if I can't be a successful coach, working with this many people, helping this many people, have my own facility, working for this company, I'm not anything. Like, I'm not worth anything. My friends don't not deserve me, but I don't deserve my friends. I don't deserve nothing. So I may as well this was the mindset. I was super toxic, like super fucking toxic. So I was like, right, I'm going to fucking jump. And I was going to do it that night. I was on the balcony for ages, going through loads of things in my head. And my friend was at the house, like he stayed with me, and he came through as like literally as I was going to do it. He was like, do you want to pass this joint? And I was like, turned around and I was like, maybe one. And then I went, he was like, come on through the living room. No, actually, he came through to the balcony and like came to the place I was going to do it and sat in the seat. We just smoked a joint and chatted, and it really fucking obviously talked me off the ledge pretty much. And I didn't tell him I was going to do it.
Do you know?
I don't know, man. You knew I was seeing red for a long time, man. Like, if I was a fucking like angry guy, stressed guy, angry guy, tired person. But he knows that now, and it blew his mind because he's been through a lot of shit before, and I've helped him, but he never knew he'd helped me on that level.
It's another one of these weird coincidences that seem to have gave you that second chance.
Yeah.
So what happened at that point? Do you think that just allowed you to zoom out a little bit and go, right, actually, why don't you work on changing something?
Yeah. But again, super stubborn, didn't want to change. Just kept doing shit, and I had to like really break down. I think it was a car crash, then it was a potential, jump off balcony, to then crying when a client came in once, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Was it right?
Client came in one day and just said like, "How are you?"
I don't want to do 8 reps.
It's like she's literally with training. She came in, you hug your client, female or like guy or whatever.
Show them an eye, show like a bit.
And I was obviously like carrying a lot of stress, like oxidative stress, and that way when you like struggle to breathe, you're like you can't really catch yourself. I felt that way for ages. So I was like a ticking time bomb. And a client just came in one day, lovely summer morning. She was all chipper. She's like, "Lewis, how are you?" And I'm like, I just burst out crying, man. Couldn't compose myself. Could not compose myself. For that session, she took me a walk. We chatted a wee bit. I was overwhelmed. And off the back of that, I was like, fuck. I need to change, man. I need to change now. I need to change forever. So I just literally changed everything. I literally changed everything that day.
Aye.
Yeah. And cancelled the rest of my sessions for the rest of the day. Cancelled the payments for the flat, moved everything home, moved everything to my mum and dad's, just moved, like, stopped everything. And I remember it was like a full circle moment. And I was like, quit the company, quit MDN, like, stop coaching, threw everything away.
You give up the gym at this point as well?
I held on to it, but I was like, really lowered everything, like, cancelled a lot of clients and paused a lot of hours and took time. And I remember I was sitting at a single bed back at my mum and dad's, looking around my room.
Old
like,
teddy bears and toys and
like,
stuff. Yeah.
Almost like a full circle moment. I was like, time to restart. And I just took time for me. Took a lot of time to spend with my family and go long walks and just think, man, and tidy up my diet, get more rest, get more sleep, breathe, and just try to kind of sort my head out, man. Took a proper mental health month. And it took time, man, but I came back with a fucking bang off the back of that. I really needed it. Needed to change.
What are you working through at this point? Are you just thinking about everything and try to work out how you're going to be in this game?
Yeah. Try do it on my own terms, because this was it pushed away Amy, pushed away my friends, left the flat, quit the company, cancelled the sessions. Everything that I'd been working towards that I thought was cool on paper or what other people would say is success. Was not what I deemed a success. So I just had to work through all of that and process that and really understand what I want. And it was I need a life in my own terms. Why did I start this? What was Lewis doing back when he was happiest? And it was online coaching, no PT, doing this, doing that, being more on his own time. And I just started creating a life by design rather than default off the tail end of that, and started. I'd accrued quite a lot of savings and money.
That pillow must have been stacked up pretty high, man.
And you know what? It fucking was.
Yeah.
I'd done
because you're not really materialistic, are you? You've got quite a simple lifestyle of
simple life. Never had a flash car. Never had
flashy watches or anything like that.
Anything. Never had any of that. Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't. It's not my vibe. So I accrued all this wealth and this cash, even more than I have now.
It's you go, oh fuck, man! If I could redo that again.
I don't know, man. And this was before you started really paying lots of tax or anything. So I just had a big old nest egg, and I was like, at least I've got this. I could actually go many directions here. I could leave the country, go travel, and fucking do all this, or I could do this, or I could do that. Do you know what I done? And I used it to float myself for a month just to chill, and then I invested quite a lot into a mentor.
What made you make this decision? This is what I'm curious. I love hearing people's stories getting into mentorship, because I feel, especially nowadays, it seems like there's a lot of mentorships, good, bad, ugly. Don't know whatever your view is, but you are someone who've put a lot of belief into them and got a lot from them. I think it says a lot about someone's mindset if they say they've paid for mentorship and not got anything from it. I think there's always lessons in everything we do in life, but yeah, okay, there's maybe a cost to it, and you're like, I could have spent that money more wisely. But having the mindset of going, you know what, that allowed me to lead me to X.
I think you'll get what you extract from anything. Me and you, when we were running earlier on, it was give anyone the program, but if they respect you and trust the process, they'll get the sick result. And it's true. I trusted it was a lot of money. That was you invest the first amount of money that you've ever invested into something that almost makes your bum shake. You're like, fuck.
Shit. This isn't a house.
Yeah, exactly. And then you second guess yourself, and your mum is in the other room listening to this call you're having, and it's that'll be $6,000, and it's Lewis, what are you getting? Shut up, mum. You invest, $6,000 up front, and you jump in, and then I was it's sink or swim. I'm going to do this. Just like everything I've done in my life, it's you're not just going in for a poke. You're fucking lubing up and you're going fucking hard, you know. you're going right in and giving it everything, and you're going to get what you came for. And I stayed in that mentorship for as long as I felt was necessary to extract what I needed to.
What was this? Was this Mark Coles' one? Or?
So Mark Coles was actually first. The biggest thing he said, he actually made me change my Instagram name.
It was a
Genghis Khan, like the Mongolian warlord, Genghis Khan. It was a Gaines, hasn't you?
He just liked it.
Yeah, so because like Shred Bundy, you know, Joe Delaney, I liked that. Like
the play on names, yeah.
But then like Sharon, 32 from down the street, is not going to invest in a coach called Genghis Khan. So I started taking it a bit more professionally from there. And, you know, Phil Graham was next. Back in the day, everyone's a fucking business mentor now. Everyone's
they're the two OGs of the space.
Mark Coles, Phil Learney, and Phil Graham were the three. There was only three. It was them.
Did you know? And so you, like, I'll say MTN's a brand that's grown quite massively over the last couple of years. The coaches that you are aware of who are doing well in the space, who are they at this time?
I didn't know.
Did you connected with them? It wasn't even
a thing.
Nah.
Yeah, like, it really wasn't.
I think that's just evolved over the last couple of years.
5 years.
It's like more like
everyone's
connection.
Like,
hey, you want me up?
Superstar, entrepreneur, person, you know, TikTok hat, like everyone's blown up on Instagram. I've never blown up. I've just chipped away. I probably lose more followers than I gain followers. I really do. But I've just keep chipping away, working on my craft. Like I'd say I'm a pretty like good coach now. If I had more eyeballs, I could be a world's best kept secret. Yeah. You know, but back in the day, man, there wasn't really any. There's maybe a few people that had like over 10k followers, but they were like. Do
you think they were actually successful, or do you think that was?
No, man. But I think building a 10k Instagram back in the day was like quite an achievement. Whereas now, you know, post a couple of reels, you can get over like 2 million people engaging with it, and you might just blow up off the back
just
of
numb
it.
Into it. It's just numb.
If you're funny, you know, if you post some sort of like ADHD kind of style video, people will be like, "I love that."
Or the game, I can imagine you being in it for so long, seeing the evolution of everything, how that's gone through.
If you go into like videos on Instagram and scroll back like to at the start, it'll be like me, like, "Hey guys, Lewis here. So today I'm going to talk to you about a macronutrient and why you need to understand this." And it'll be like pause.
Zero story, zero personality.
No like cropping and editing and like trying to give it my best. You know?
No, that's cool. So what made you go in? Where did mentorship come from? Was it
do you know,
where did that pop?
I think it was just like round about the lockdown, and it was like save your fitness business. Capitalize on this, how to pivot,
marketing,
to pivot during a pandemic, I think it was. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And you sign up and you can make this or do that or work this, and you kind of believe the hype, and you jump in these group calls, and people are like, yeah, I done 90k last week. You're like, huh?
What's the most you've ever made as a coach at this point? Because you're grafting, you're putting in the work, and okay, you might.
I think monetary value made like $5,000 in a month from like
60 sessions a week.
Like really like a lot of volume of work, man. Like I wasn't like an expensive PT either, you know. Probably just everyone I think was on a different price point depending if I liked them or not.
Yeah,
you know, like, good business.
Who do I feel sorry for? Like who's got the sob stories and all that sort of stuff.
So it was you know, you kind of get your eyes open to different levels and different ways of doing things and what you should charge, and you know, you learn to sell and you learn to market. You learn to build a program. I remember there's a voice note on my phone from like 2019. It's like, Lewis, you've cracked it. Yeah, like my program used to be called the Physique Mentorship. It's like, you're going to sell this offer that's this, and it's going to charge this, and it's going to change people's life in just 90 days, and it's going to do this. Purely like trying to sell myself this dream almost that I'd made. And just like, I felt like I just started from scratch again, you know, but this time I was going to do it smarter, but the same mindset that got me into, you know, that burnout we spoke about. I literally just, instead of doing like online coaching, I just used to book calls of clients. So like I went from doing 60 sessions a week to doing 60 calls a week.
Pivoted that a wee bit.
But I was just in the comfort of my own home.
Did you like that?
I did. I think it was good skin in the game. Going from all the sessions to all, that was like mindset coaching, nutrition coaching. So it wasn't just training. So it got me really good at the other stuff. It got me really well versed at that stuff, speaking on the phone, speaking.
Oh, it's different when you see a client to coaching them through WhatsApp, texting, emails, whatever it is that you're doing.
It got me like efficient at getting points across and being more direct, and then frameworking things and building things out.
Is this the start of your self-development journey then, a wee bit more from a mindset perspective?
Yeah. I don't even think I'd read a book.
I was going to ask, that was going to be my next question.
God, no, I don't even think I'd read a book until that point.
You big on them now?
Not really, but I listen to audiobooks.
Oh, yeah,
I've read more books this year than I have in my life. I've read like 5 books this year. And that's more than the last 5 years. I usually read 1 book a year because I get it at Christmas.
Yeah. All right, cool. Give this a try
the
for the next
or something. I was like, fuck,
the usual ones.
Change the game.
So from there, then your first mentorship. How many have you done in total? Do you know?
This will be like I'm on like number 3 or 4 now. Number 4, and over the time, I've just learned to like extract what you need, gain what it is, and leave it. Because you end up becoming part of the furniture. You hear the. I think when you hear the same message off the same person for too long, it goes numb. It's like maybe somebody like Jillian could tell you something, right, and you're cutting about, and it's like, it doesn't matter. Then if, let's say, for example, I said it, and then you're like, fuck.
I come home and I'm like, yeah, Lewis just said, I've been telling you this for ages.
Yeah. It's almost like that. You hear it from someone else sometimes. So see if you're not really getting the value, or it's maybe not the right guy for you. Same with coaching. I had this shit PT and he's done that, and it's like, okay. But then they do come on board with you and they hear it differently, and they're like, oh, it's maybe the same knowledge, but maybe just packaged differently or said differently. Could be interpreted in a completely different way.
I've said the story in the podcast that my mate, been friends with him when I was down in England, and he used to ask me like, how does the body like lose weight? I don't understand how, with me losing, me cutting my calories, how's my body going to lose weight? How do I keep it off? And I explained this to him, and then again I explained it to him. Over the course of a 6-year friendship, we would talk about this every time we met up, and we climbed him in row like year before last, and we get into the conversation, and I don't know if it's because I started coaching people and I explained it a different way, but the same way that I have before, and he's like, I get it. And that to me was like a light bulb. I was like, holy shit, I need to keep reinforcing this message, because it's going to fall by the wayside, because there's so much like ADHD brain, like you said, like there's so much that we're trying to pack into our minds.
I think a big problem, see now, people are scared to talk about calorie deficit because James Smith talks about it.
Too much, yeah.
And it's like, people forget things. Like I reshare a lot of the same content or repackage it in a different way, same message. People are like, oh, class. But I think with everything that we do in our industry, it's repetition. Same within the gym. If you want bigger muscles, do more reps, do more volume, do more load, progressively overload the basics to the point that you hit critical mass with anything. The same with building a business. It's not the fancy tactic. That can maybe, it's almost like, it's like a pre-workout, a fancy tactic or a strategy in business, but like
it's the habits and the ritual.
It's the habits, it's the ritual, it's the waking up time, the deep work to the education work to the market work. It's everything. It's like a combination. Building your body is building a business, and if you get good at one or the other, you can do both.
No, I like that. So how does this evolve then from here? So go into Mark Cole's one, and like, do you giving up a gym? So I always think personal trainers, the dream is to open your own gym, but it's not as like clean cut business model as you. Oh, if I get 100 members at 30 quid a membership, $3,000 a month, easy peasy. And I can sell personal training. Like, it doesn't work that way. So was yours an operating gym? Were you a partner in it? Like, what's working?
I was a partner. It was a woman. And she was on maternity leave, so I had it free reign. It's her space, and then she was like, I'm going to do online. Then she just rented it to me, so it was like was hers, then just was mine. But her name was on it, but it was my gym. I just paid her rent. which was buttons, which was class. So it was like all profit, no loss, brick and mortar, cool thing. I just hit like...
Was it open to public?
No, it was a private.
Personal training? Like private, this kind of thing? Like
yeah, smaller though. Smaller, in an industrial estate. It was like, I was getting sick of the own four walls though. So I couldn't have any creative control over it. To change it, to paint it, to tweak it. It wasn't my building, you know. So I kind of was just getting like...
Fed up with it?
Yeah, very much so.
And is the online part of your business building then during this
year? Slowly and steadily building in the back end, because I went from coaching clients one-to-one to then group to leverage time back to build the online to the point I was maybe doing 10 sessions a week with 5 people per session. So I was still hitting like 50 clients, but group sessions, and then working the rest online. So I would do mornings and then online in the afternoon, the evening and night, and then trading when I could and stuff like that, and live out my partners, mum and dad's, or my mum and dad's, and go between houses and stuff. I've always just been so fucking scatty, man. So I've never had like a place just sit still and fucking...
You jump about.
It's always see when I look back, it's like it was so fucking stressful. All of it.
It's weird. I wonder why like there was so much that you were gravitating towards, but like also at the same time, I think you must have been a pretty good character to go into these gyms and go, right, okay, he's already working at these other ones, but we want him still to be in our environment. So he must have had like your people skills or your confidence might have not been where it was at, but it must have been like way higher than the average person that was out there at the time.
This is the thing, man. Like I'm very friendly, and I'll try with people. Really, really will try with people. But then it's like when the doors are closed and it's just me, I'm like pure bored.
It's like
like, fuck. But like I'll go out my way to be nice and, you know, shake the hand and hold the door open, and just manners, generosity. Oh, I'm going to the shop, do you want coffee? Do you want this? Can I help with this? Oh, that would be a good idea. Do you want to train together? All that stuff, man. Just stuff that treat others how you'd want to be treated yourself. I've always done that. You know, I think that goes a long way. But then, you know, super anxious as well. Me and my sister call it like, what's it? Optimistic anxiety or something. It's like good anxiety is
introverted and all that. It's like it's like picking up the wrong space.
Yeah, because I get really socially exhausted. Like, see, off the back of this morning, this podcast, I'm happy I'm having a drive home myself. Because I'll be like, that was a busy morning because I've already done a bit of work before coming in, and I've got calls later on, but I'll be tired tonight. You know, and I'm fine with that. I think my capacity is built massively over time. Like, I remember when I was in online coaching at the start, like a check-in day with, let's say, 10 clients, really exhaust me. I can do like 80 check-ins in a day. I'd be like, oh, let's go more. Like, let's put more. Like, I can do more. Whereas back in the day, it would like fuck me, like brain-wise. Probably because I was like, you know,
probably giving so much attention to it.
Yeah,
at this point.
20-minute check-in feedback on like a questionnaire. But again, I think the biggest thing was stopping smoking weed was one of the biggest game changers for me. From like confidence, being at peace, not in one head. People say they smoke weed because it stops their anxiety. Bullshit. It gives you anxiety massively.
It's like you're oblivious to what's going on.
Yeah,
why? So you took, after you're doing like Mark Halsey stuff, you're building your online. Have you quit smoking at this point, or have you has it been like, I know I need to do it, but I'm fucking still getting through it?
Still, I built a 6-figure business high.
Did you? What was that like? So like try to like break the, because 6 figures is a buzzword today.
Yeah,
I don't know if was it as much a buzzword before. Like, could you ever imagine making that much money through this?
Never imagined it, but it was super stressful because it was just high. I was a scat ball. I've always been really good at planning. I've been a productivity snob. I love time management. I love control. But again, when you're high, I just made my life so hard for years.
Yeah, I was going to say, like to be the underdog in this,
mate, I think I just love pain. Like, make everything harder. It could be so easy. And this is what Amy says to me, it's like, you love making things so hard, don't you? Like, don't know why I gravitate towards like,
take
will it make me bleed?
It's like taking the path of least resistance. You're like, nah, I want to take the path with most resistance.
Like,
Give me that.
Get ripped up and like scratched
Scar wounds,
and arrows in my back in the way there's like, but I'll make it there with like if it kills me. But yeah, like I'm learning to like start having more flow and like allow things to come to me and like manifest.
Manifest it.
Bullshit. None of
It's
that.
a pure holistic buzzword in the yogi world. How did you manage to quit? Was it just like you were disciplined enough in your mind to go, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore?
I got to a point, it was like I realised I was becoming my own biggest limiting factor in everything that I'd done. It's like if I wanted to grow, it wasn't like new things, new add-ons, new mentors, new systems. It was me. My capacity to deal with more stress, put more in the pot, be able to stir it without things sticking. So I really had to just learn to, and it was a habit change process. Because when I stopped smoking weed, I grew so fast. It was crazy. Because I started running. I replaced smoking weed with running. And it was just a day. Like, I've been to paraphernalia, deleted all the contacts, removed all the people that I could, talk to for getting weed. Spoke to my family, my friends, I'm going to stop. And then I started running. I remember the first run I went on, I started crying because it was the first time I felt like my emotions.
It's going to be blunted for what was it, like 16 years old to like 23, 22?
Yeah, 24.
24? Yeah.
No, 20 to 23 years, but I've not smoked in a long time. But so yeah, and like I felt like my mind open. I started being like super high energy, great sleep. Felt
what normal should feel like.
That would be normal. Like felt great with my partner. Pure chipper around my mates. No anxiety. Gone. Better in business. Better on calls. Better results.
Sharper.
Just sharp, mate. And I was like, fuck.
So that was good enough to kind of keep you away from it then?
Yeah, it was like the positive return of just actually improving the aspects of my life which I thought I was good at already, but I was just numb all the time. Once I stopped smoking weed, just life got fucking unreal.
So you must have been pretty good at it to build was this just online coaching then? It was this program, like what kind of got you to that mark?
Online program was like one program, one price, one thing. And
did you consistently keep that revenue coming in, or did it take a dip at any point?
I've had relatively just steady. See, everything in my life, it's been slow and steady.
Just like next level, working at it.
I like that. Not by like a quantum leap, but like a very small, like, okay, lock it in, maintain it, hold it, next level.
Has that been hard to do, being a part of mentorships, when you see, wow, such and such joined and they've made 16K in their first week, blah, blah, blah. Because you've been in the game long enough to go, right, yeah, but I can already foresee the issues that individual's going to have. But at the start, what's that like?
What is it like? Quick scales, fancy feels or something? Fancy scales, quick feels, whatever the quote is. But all these guys, you look at them, I look back at some of the people that I was in that group with, and they're not even in business anymore.
Yeah.
They're
changed.
Yeah, they couldn't keep up with it, or because when you grow your revenue or something, or grow your client base, there's going to come a time when you grow with that and you adapt to it, and then your quality of life will change with that. But you've got to I've always lived below means of everything and be like, that's great, Lewis, well done, you've got this thing, but you're still down here.
Yeah, put it under the pillow.
Put it under
that mindset.
Put it in that under that fucking pillow. Pretty much. So yeah, man, just even with Instagram growth, slow and steady, super consistent. Same with business. Like if you go up a wee bit, hold it. Like my old threshold would be like 40 clients is the thing. Whereas I'd be like 70 clients is like the next threshold. I won't ever go below that, or I won't have, like, you just get these, and it's like that's been over like 4 years though. to get to that level.
It's like people hear it now and it's like, oh, I want that life. Like, what's the secret? And you're like, it comes back to those habits
It's
and
like,
whatever.
Yeah, has you ever seen the movie 10 Years a Slave? That's what it's like.
It's like breaking it down, yeah. So if you look back to the habits and the routines that's kind of allowed you to scale up to that, what would you say, what are some of those?
Oh, great question. I think consistent week and sleep schedule is paramount. Some days that will have to be broken depending on how much you need to do, and maybe how tired you are. Sometimes you got to give yourself a little bit of compassion on that front. But consistent week and sleep schedule, even on weekends. No alcohol. Stop drinking, stopping drugs, vices, anything that impacts your sober state needs to go. I believe that. I like some people might be able to do it and pull off, but I think pull away. So consistent week and sleep schedule, pulling off vices, have a golden hour, a time you train every single day that you can stay consistent with. For me, I'm at my best once I train, so I try to get that done in the morning because I feel that then you can monotask. I think, see, when I don't train and I try work, I'm like this, I'm all distracted when I train.
Interesting.
Channels my mind.
You think it's because you know, I need to train later on, and it's like,
yeah,
but I'm using energy just now and I don't know what that training session is going to be like.
I get in a very high elevated state off the back of training. I feel freer. My mind's empty. It's a bit more in flow. I feel like I've off the back of sleeping, moved all the shit around my body. I'm just good to go. So training, I think your business is an extension of you, right? And seeing when you're a well-oiled machine, lean, strong, athletic, fueling your body with good energy, good sleep, good training, you walk the walk, talk the talk, I think your business grows and develops well fast. It really does. Any time I've been through good business growth is when I'm going through a lot of personal growth and taking my shit seriously. The last 8 months, we've grown more than we've ever grown. It's because I've been the best I've ever been. And I put that down to some of the factors that I've just mentioned there. They're hard to do. They're simple to do.
Simple, but
very hard
right.
to not drink alcohol, to not take drugs, to go to bed at 8 o'clock every night, and to wake up at 4 a.m. That's really hard. But choose your heart. Choose what you want your life to look like. Because it's live a life by design rather than default. You've chosen to build this room, this gym, this life, get your partner on board. Or you could work 9 to 5, be shackled to this desk, and this conversation would never have happened. But it's how do you really want your life to look? How do you want it to be? What kind of outcome do you want from it all? Because we could live a life fucking doing what everyone else does, but that's when we get what everyone else has, and I don't want that. I want a abnormal life that people look at and are in days to come, years to come, that's unrealistic as fuck. I want that life. I want an unrealistic life because it's he wakes up earlier than me, he trains harder than me, he's got a better body than me. But I know it's a bit baby ego here, but it's he can travel, he can do this, but I want to inspire people. I want to inspire people through my life, my actions. I think that's our gift, as coaches, as leaders, as people. You're obviously good at leadership from your previous job role, but I think what purpose really is to create the man you want to be for yourself so you can give him back to the world. Because when you're at your best, everyone else gets you at your best and you can fucking elevate them because your strength is their way in. But as well with that, your weakness is their way out. So if you're weak, you're dropping your ball, you're dropping your standards. Anytime I'm off course, my clients know.
You feel it? They definitely feel it. I've even noticed that we try to balance a couple of different parts of the business and I'm I know I should be giving my coaching a wee bit more. And sometimes you're is that just internal guilt? But it's they know as well. And depending on how good a relationship you built, there's a wee bit more leeway and it's a fine art to it all. But no, that's interesting you say that. When you're kind of, have you always been a morning person? You kind of had to default into that because of how early you've trained people?
I don't know. I used to find waking up really hard because I was always stoned over. I'd wake up and I'd be like, a fucking
Would you be feeling for it? Would you smoke in the mornings?
Did
sometimes,
for a long time, yeah. But you'd have hangover from being stoned the day before. To see when you don't do that and you just get to sleep and you disconnect from devices at night time. I wake up fucking raring to go every morning. Like, it could literally start work the minute I wake up.
Yeah, it's mad, like how many people's life can be drastically improved by a consistent sleep schedule. It's so bizarre. And I think I'm grateful that, what age was I? This might have been about 6-7 years ago. I was hating training at night after my job. I was like, oh man. So I would drive into the car park, couldn't get parked, and I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. I was like, this is shit. And I was like, you know what? It's a pure gym. Who trains like 24/7? What does that even mean? Surely people don't train at 3-4 in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and be that guy. I had no inspiration for anyone else. Tried it for a week and I was like, whoa. I was getting like you said, that it probably is a wee bit more of not being so erratic and like chopping and changing from different tasks. I had my first team that I was managing and I would be in work for 8 and I'd feel guilty if I never showed up to work until 8:30, 9 because I was a wee bit more sluggish in the mornings. But it's got me dialed in. Yeah. And I was like, there's something to working out in the morning or just getting up consistently. I think that's really what the main thing was for me, because sometimes the alarm went off at 7, snooze it to 8, get out of bed at 8:15, drive to work in a mad rush, and that stabilised that whole routine for me, and it changed the game in my trajectory of developing my career and just being better at fitness.
I think if you snooze, you do actually lose. You lose. Like,
it's a cheesy saying, but it's so true.
The first battle of the day, I guess, and there's a quote that I heard. It's like, early to bed, early to rise makes a man rich, healthy, and wise. And like, it fucking does, man.
Yeah.
Like, when you're on your shit with the wake and sleep and you're training in the morning, eating good food, make more money, you look better, feel happier, live healthier, live longer, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's weird, because I get into this conversation with my brother all the time, because he'll be a wee bit more dialed Monday to Friday. Friday, Saturday, because he's not got his job, I'll stay up till like 2 a.m, and his answer back to me is always, but I got my 8 hours. I was like, yeah, but how are you feeling when you wake up? Yeah, I feel fine. So, okay, like if that's what you want to tell yourself, but I would bet if you keep that consistent Monday to Sunday, you'll see dramatic improvements in there.
Bro, 100%. Like, I do give myself a little bit of leeway on the weekends. Like, this is my kind of mindset with it. I know the benefits of the consistency, the routine and stuff, but I also don't like let the routine, like, if I miss it, like,
I'll be so dogmatic about it.
Affects my brain.
Yeah.
You know, because see, when you're like, oh, but this didn't have this variable checked off completely, so therefore I am lesser off.
Failure.
Like, that's when everything gets fucked. So it's like, I think be with it, but as you say, don't be dogmatic. I think that is the only way.
You need to live life, and this is what we were speaking about when we were working out there. So for you, like, I know we're fast forwarding a wee bit, but so you eventually give up the gym, you give up working in a gym, you start to work on was this the physique transformation mastermind, or like, what is it? When did it evolve?
The physique mentorship,
right,
was my first. It was called Team LMC, Team Lewis McFarlane Coaching, the physique mentorship program.
And I take it, is this what the guidance is through mentorships? Like, build a community, build a program, build your values around that, and that will help you scale. They
kind of taught me what a program syllabus was, right? Which is like, what are your kind of core values of a business?
Your pillars.
Your pillars, right? Pillars. So I made my pillars, which was like your physique, performance, productivity, and purpose. The core 4, I called it. You know, the 4 Ps. And that's what I still use now, but it's the Peak Performance Project. But back then it was like, I knew them, but couldn't really coach them. Didn't really
know why you're doing them.
It was just a body transformation program.
Helps you sell a wee bit better, because
it was a bit more elaborate. It sounded better than it was. So that was again the first thing, getting all that all set, and then taking it to market and talking about it, and how help busy entrepreneurs, busy businessmen, 9-to-5s reclaim their help. All
capitalizing on it.
Bullshit. The stuff you were told is like, what I didn't even know what a fucking niche was. I don't even think I have a niche. I just know people align with what I'm about. They're my niche.
Here's the result that you can get, and here's what we can transform. That's your niche.
It's not like fucking men 30 to 35 that work in the CBD in Glasgow that love a Pret Manger at lunch.
It's like too specific, isn't it?
Size 9 shoes in Glasgow. I'm your guy. It's like, okay, I think it could be a bit of a minefield.
So you're growing that. When does it? Because I always think, I think the highest kind of clientele I've had has been in the high 50s. I think I got over 60, but the usual churn kind of brought it back down. But that was a lot. Trying doing that one-to-one and doing online. My online's never really grew above 20-ish. But I've always kept an element of in-person. When did you notice that it got a bit too heavy, or what was the breaking points of where you had to change something structurally or get more streamlined?
So I found with online coaching, I'd say each coach can work very comfortably with like 40 clients if you're full-time online, not doing anything else, right? So in the past, I scaled myself to maybe 60, and then brick wall. Either I burn out, or I don't have enough attention or time for X, Y, Z, or this happens, that happens, and then you clatter back down, you go back to stabilization number, that 40 clients. And then you're like, right, cool. What is something I can't be bothered doing anymore, or someone else is better suited doing or wiser? So you maybe hire someone to help with, bookkeeping or admin, and that kind of gives you a wee bit more bandwidth back, and you maybe get you add 5 clients. So you hit 45 and you're like, cool, I can hold this because I've got this happening now. You're like, if I want to go to the next, it's like, right, programming. And somebody comes in and does that for you, and you're like, okay, fuck, 50? And I've not fucked it yet.
Opens it up, yeah.
So it's like, I think the path illuminates as you walk it. I think there's some people that have too big an ego, can brute force their way through it and get to a point where they've got maybe 65 clients, but then they believe that's all you. That's their
ceiling, yeah.
That's their peak amount stupid. Whereas, like you, similar to me, impact, more eyeballs, more people, more of the message getting put across. So we've hit I hit again with all this adding people in 75 clients myself, but I was the main coach doing all the check-ins. It got tough.
Yeah.
So we had to hire a full-time member of staff, and then we skyrocket again. We see 80, 85, shy of 90, clients in the books, and it's like, wow, okay, so now we're splitting then.
I get more capacity.
And again, to get from that 80 to 100, another coach will have to come in to help manage that. But we coach dynamically. It's not like this is your specific coach. Maybe it will go that way in the future, but it's a team. It's like you get 3 coaches per 1 client. So Mark is more better suited for talking or dealing with this, whereas I'll be better at this, and maybe coach number 3 will be better at that. And clients can kind of pick and choose who they go to with certain problems or certain things, and we can coach them across a wide variance of different disciplines, let's say, which kind of works. It's maybe not the best business model, but it's kind of the way we like to do it. You found your groove, and I think that's the ultimate thing you're trying to do. Yeah. Where are you at then with the why of scaling? So was it just a natural progression? You're like, I need to build this as a business, or because right now I see a lot of people wanting to hire and have coaches work under them, but they are not even potential, but they're dealing with 20, 30 clients because people like the idea of having a team, a business. But you can have a business kind of being a solopreneur to an extent. Oh, massively.
Hugely, because you like you mentioned earlier, being able to pay somebody a salary feels great, but also lights a fire under you of right, man, I'm losing couple of £1,000 a month that I need to make sure that I'm bringing that in. I now have the stress of keeping someone else afloat in my business, and I can't take home as much.
That's true. I think I could quite happily work just me with less clients happily, but I know with my past, my message, the mission, the knowledge, the capability, it would be selfish, fucking selfish not to make this bigger than what it is and give other people a platform to gain some make a living from it, help more people, give my partner a job, give my friends a job, give other members of my family a job. I think it's selfish not to go fucking to the moon with it.
It's weird that not everyone really has that frame of mind. Where do you think that comes from?
Maybe scarcity, maybe maybe they don't believe they're in their product enough. I think like I fucking want people to feel the way I feel with a lot of things. You know, it's like, bro, I've got this thing. You got to check this out. This is so good. It's like, have you ever felt this way when you? I don't know. I just want to tell people about it. You know, I really want people to know about it, and I know what it's like. Not having it. You know, not having the body, the confidence, the mindset, the energy, the routine, the status or the validation that you can give yourself through your own actions. Like, I know what it's like not having that. So why can I not build a vehicle that gives men that so they can feel it in their own life? Because it's fucking epic. Because I know for a fact if you start feeling this way, you'll have better sex, better relationship, make more money, want to wake up in the morning and tackle your goals, and probably have a higher level of testosterone.
Fulfilled life as well.
Fulfilled life, man, and you know, live life in your own terms. Have purpose, have that wee edge, that buzz. So many guys right now feel like something's missing. They don't really know what it is though, because they're hyper distracted. They're fucking dopamine. They're fucked with that. You know, it's like they've tanked themselves, hyper palatable foods, all this. They've got all these, it's like a baby lying on its back with the wee fucking thing, like rocket ships, and they're doing that all day. But see if we cut through the noise, get them in great physical and mental condition, get them focusing on all these other things, they just become leaders, man. We need better men in this world. And I feel like I'm still in this process of developing me as a man. And I want to leave the breadcrumbs for other young guys to follow suit, you know.
And so if you look within just now, where's areas of your life that need developed on?
Still got like, you know, vices, things could change. I'm hyper addicted to nicotine.
Do you think that's been like a replacement from the urge of smoking?
Probably. Yeah, it's like, I think if you take away, I think every guy's got at least a little bit of a vice. Everyone's got a bit of a vice.
Do you think you can truly shake it all?
Be great to try.
That's all we can do.
So that's it. Like, always trying to like push the needle forward with
whatever.
How much can I optimize, maximize? But then it's like, are you just being too critical? Are you just like?
I actually mentioned this in the last episode. You imagine like a game character. You've got this point system and you can work on your speed, your agility, your power, your relationship. But you've only got so many points you can dedicate to one, and it's like a pendulum swinging left and right. And all we're trying to do is minimize the swing. If you can do that, you're winning.
Yeah,
that is so truly what it comes down to. So what is like other areas then? Is there, are you fulfilled?
I say I'm extremely fulfilled. But I think just as but I'm fulfilled but never satisfied. I think like life fulfillment is great. Wake up, I have a calm mind. Go to bed, calm mind. I deal with shit every day. Like everyone does. If you're on a business, you're gonna see a message, have a problem, have a bill, have something that could give you a shit day. But you don't let it give you a shit day. You just don't. So because like, as I say, I've done all this therapy and mental performance coaching and stuff, and like the main thing that I've taken from it all is like, just don't worry.
It's a simple lesson, eh?
Just chill out, it's cool. Like, this will pass, and you know what? Better days will come. Just learn to enjoy them.
See, for someone that has went through all of that, see, hearing those phrases when you're at your lowest low, it's like, do you feel like sometimes you're like, man, shut up. You do not understand what I'm doing. So what did you realize then going through it? Like, what actually changed it, or was it just, is it reps in the space and going, you know what, I can hear you now? Reps and awareness and just learning, and I think it's a capacity thing as well. The harder you get to kill, I think, like, more resilient, the more load, the more stress, more pressure, more ambitious you become, the better you get at just like dealing with knuckle sandwiches, dealing with like eating shit. I'd say I'm like a good palate for eating shit at this stage of my life. Like even stressful things that have like maybe happened recently, I'm like, I think we'll be fine. Like, take the risk. I think we'll be fine. Like, where do you get that confidence? It's like, looking at the last maybe 10 years, there's a bit of evidence, there's a bit of like proof now to be like, I've not died. Done all right. Almost.
Not went bankrupt. Not fucked it really. Still got like 10 fingers, 10 toes. It's like maybe one more risk. Won't hurt.
Yeah, why not? Throw it in the mix.
Let's try it.
Good. There's one thing I want to break down, because from a coaching perspective, this is probably more selfish for me. What do touch points look like with 60 clients, 70 clients, 80 clients, 90 clients? I get you've got a coach and you've got people helping out in the business. What have you found the sweet spot of touch points? Because I go through, I need to speak to, right now I'm in the point of like going, you know what, I'm going to message my clients every day. I've tried every 2 days. I've done the once a week, done the once a 2 weeks. Every coach is different in this space. What's worked for you?
We do Monday check-ins. So everyone, well, 90% of clients will check in and get like a video feedback on a Monday. And
what are you asking them at that point? Is it just like your standards, like what's been happening?
Understanding wins, checking their body composition, checking like data, steps, hydration, training, form, like just everything, challenges, any injuries, any illnesses, how they get on with business, life, relationships. Like it's quite an in-depth like review, you know. So going through that, sending like between 5 and 10 minutes of feedback to them. Once they've got that, I'm one of those guys. I won't go to fucking bed if there's over like 10 WhatsApp messages. I'll
clear them out.
Yeah, clear them all out. Tuesday, catch up with those who have missed any following on messages. I'll talk to them. You know, Wednesday, I get like this kind of like coach's sixth sense that would be like, I need to reach out to these 10 fuckers because they're crawling in my mind right now. So I'm going to hit them with something, either some like gratitude or some motivation or some hype or just a general what's up. Thursday, Mark will speak to every single client. Friday, and I'll tie into messages that feel relevant. And then Friday, I kind of call it chill the fuck out Friday. So it's like, if you need me, fucking message me. But like, winding down. Saturday, Sunday, if there's anything super urgent, I'll have a look. If I will get back to it, it's because I'm in a great mood and I've got loads of energy. But usually, like, chill out Saturday, Sunday, then just repeat the process, you know? So it's like, we are speaking to our clients, like, maybe not everyone every day, but the majority is getting some form of, like, message. And then we put the private podcast out. Then there's maybe, like, a couple of group chats for different clients that they'll get. There will be a group message in there. So there's always a thing going on, you know. There's always a prompt or a touch point.
So I feel like for yourself, like being in the space for 10 years, you've probably trialed a lot of different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
When you look back at, which is funny because your online coaching model was, here's your plan for 16 weeks, go follow it, I'll see you in 16 weeks, let's see what's happened. What do you think is a good thing, that people's standards are increasing, or do you think it can be a bit frustrating as a business owner sometimes?
I think it's good. That people are, you know, I'm quite a try hard. Like I want to like get a message from my client saying, bro, like you're great. You changed my life.
It's chasing that.
I look for those, man. I really chase those messages because it makes me feel fucking great, man. But then I've had some clients in the past, kick-ass result. They've never missed a check-in. I speak to them maybe once a week, and at the end they're like, mate, that was class. If ever I need it, and I'll let you know. And it's like as dead as that. And it's like,
okay,
sweet. And they don't like reply to you during the weekend when you're like, hey mate, how you getting on? It's like, aye, busy mate, you. It's like,
I need more substance than this.
It's like, is it me that's trying to validate me by us? Like,
how is that process been for you to, one, maybe get those clients to share more information, but also two, not get too in your head? Because it hurts when you lose a client, or it hurts less and less over time, but being caring and compassionate, I don't think you ever lose that.
Nah, you got to meet, I think, a client where they're at and understand. Like, I think the onboarding, like I always do, like we onboard a client fairly in depth. They have a call with Mark, then they have another call with me, and it's over like a 2-week period of getting everything flowing. And by the time they've had the next call with me from like maybe point of acquisition or sale, I pretty much highlight the kind of rules, and I asked them like when are you at your best? How do you like getting spoken to? You know, and if they tell me, I'll just like remember that and speak to them that way. Some people are like, sometimes I need a kick up the arse, and I'll be like, I'll just get on with it, man. See when I've got the plan, just go, man, and I'll let you know if things. I'm like, okay, I kind of like actually just ask them what they need. Then some people don't know what they need. So that's when you play a little bit of like fucking cha-cha with them. Sometimes you hit them with a stick and force the carrot down their mouth. And then sometimes it's like you just dangle it.
Yeah, it's good. I think you need to trust your intuition, but also be adaptable as a coach, not just have the same way.
Yeah, and also we're not motivators. We can be motivating, but we're not motivators. We're coaches. It's like you've hired us to facilitate a result and guide you through it. We're not here to chase you. Like, I think it's like a good thing for our coach if somebody doesn't check in, or if there's a process. So let's say you had a client who didn't show up for a session. It's not just like, oh yes, I'll just go get a Greg's and chill. It's like phone them probably. Like, is everything okay? Like,
show care and compassion.
Like, you know, I've got another hour off the back of this. If you still want to make it in, try make it in. Car troubles, that's fine. Understand that. Is there any, can I come pick you up and go a wee stroll and catch up or something? I'd do that, you know. Even times I would just like fucking phone a client. You know, I've done that before, like, and maybe not heard from them in like a week. It's like, yeah, something's definitely going on here. So just phone them, and reluctantly they do answer. They're like, I really need to have this chat with you, you know, and you maybe pull them out or pivot them from something dark. So again, like me, like being in a dark place before, you don't want to fucking speak to no one.
No.
But then if somebody like speaks to you, you're like,
for your example, you managed to pivot. Yeah,
exactly. Good. So
you mentioned the onboarding process there. Has that been a big part of retention with clients over the last couple of years?
I don't know if it's been part of like retention, because like sometimes maybe overwhelm on an onboarding, because there's like, you know, a series of maybe videos to watch and then a questionnaire, then I review all of it and then make this big action plan for like the whole thing, the whole roadmap and journey.
Here's your 12 months.
And then that's still
6 months,
similar to like the way I've always done it.
Yeah.
Like parts of that process still like live inside me. I'm like,
so it makes peak performance, or Lewis McFarlane's coaching. Just makes it what it is. Yeah.
You know, like I like strategic overview. I like roadmap. I like confidence. Some people like just take it a week at a time, and that might work for them. I'm more like, here's the big motherfucker, but we're starting here, and then break it all down step at a time, and then introduce them to like Mark. It's just, see, within the first like 24, 40 hours of somebody like being on board, it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of volume, a lot of content, a lot of personalization, and can imagine some people have came on and been like, too much. And I'm like, whoa, okay. What's too much? And they're like, oh, this or that. It's like, well, do you want to hear something great? And they're like, yeah. It's like, go do one of the workouts. Let me know how you get on. And they're like, okay.
Start them now.
And then it's like, yeah, you really dumb it down. Because in reality, I could do it like really simply. But then it may not reflect like the price point they pay. And then we're like, what am I paying here for then?
Yeah, is it?
See, when I come in with the fucking home run, it's a screamer, and they're like, okay, I get it. And it's crazy. So we'll just dive into it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like the success rate we have with clients along, like our lifetime value is roughly like, 15 month a client, which is decent.
Very good.
And we got a really good turnover in terms of like how many results and how consistent the results are, per like time frame and the phases that we run people through. It all kind of like makes complete sense, to be honest.
I like that. Well, have you managed to crack down on the clients that you work with that have amazing success, whether it's transform, strength, power, endurance, whatever that may be, and those who don't see it? Like, what would be some of because obviously the framework seems to be the same, the coaching will adapt. What is the habits of those individuals that are seeing it through?
One, they don't overcomplicate it and like ask why they do that many reps or that many sets or that little sets, or why is this the way it is? It's like so many people ask too many questions. I think they're trying to like overcomplicate it. Like, see, if they want education behind it, that's cool. It's the people who like just kind of
think they're looking for an excuse or
question everything. It's like, well, you hired me to do my thing, to guide you through that process of what my IP is and what my intelligence is. So let's just try it. And as I say, I just hit with quotes. I say a lot of quotes to people and they're like, fuck,
What's your favourite quote? So discipline sets you free.
It's like, just see when you say to someone, you ask all these questions, it's like the path illuminates as you walk down it. And they're like, I need to keep walking.
This is so wise.
I need to keep doing it, then it'll make sense. It's like, it will just make sense the more you do it. That's what I've always learned. It's like, right, fuck, I'll just keep doing it and do it. And then you have the light bulb moment. I think, really healthy habits. One, you don't overcomplicate it. They do as they're told, but they check in on time. They send form videos. They get their physique looked at every week. Fill everything in. They just do it. They just if I bought something and like this is how you were meant to do it, wouldn't you just do it? See, when people just do it, and this is the thing: the higher volume of people you have, the higher volume of results you're going to get. But the higher volume of people that are going to like not do it as well.
So that was going to be a follow-up question. What do you think stops people from doing it? Or what do you think, like, when you're getting into these conversations?
Immaturity, lazy. It's so funny, man. Like, people like, really crushing it this week. It's like, well, how have you gained weight? Or how have this? It's like, and then you ask them for a form video and they're like, no bother. And then you'll never see a form video. And then it's just people communicate without communicating. You know, they're very good at answering a question or just responding to a message rather than like, let's open some chat and unpack maybe what's holding you back here. Because there's been people I've said the exact same thing to in different ways for 10, 12 weeks. Then the penny drops. And then within 4 weeks, they make more results than they've had in 10 years. And it's like...
So it's kind of the proof, isn't it? It's like, it's weird that we hold ourselves back, or a lot of people will hold themselves back, and they're their own worst enemy with this sort of stuff. But I guess that's really what coaching is about. Yeah,
but I try like, I'm quite mindset heavy guy, but I try not be someone's therapist. You know.
Do you draw the line at all with that? Then have you referred people to therapy or like
people, you know, I've done this sometimes quite a tough conversation to be like, bro, you need therapy. I've done like mental health and exercise coaching in the past, so there's a line I can take it to, and maybe further than what other people have. And again, the School of Life is, you know, pretty good. You know, I've been through my own shit, so I kind of like, I can tell when someone's a bit off, and I'm quite happy to explore conversation. I don't really see if someone's got like negative news or bad news or something to tell me. It doesn't really weigh on me too much. And that's not as like, I don't care, like I do care.
Yeah, it's a skill of a leader, because you can't bear the burden, but you can't let it consume it. Yeah.
Don't like fucking like, you let it kill me. Like, bad shit happens every week, you know. We've got some bad news the other day from a client, like his friend like killed himself and stuff, and it's like, I felt it. I was like, that's heavy, man. Here for you, all this, but like, I can move on with my day without that. And that this might sound weird for any listener to be like, why are you not crying about this? It's like, obviously don't know the person personally, but I do feel it. I resonate with the client, give him a shoulder if he needs it, but you know, can move on with that, and continue serving the masses, the people who need it the most, you know. It's just one of those ones. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's hard to balance, and I don't think it's the right or wrong answer. I think it's situation dependent, and what you're prepared to do and give up, or wherever you draw the line with it.
Sure.
So what's the future like for peak performance? Like, what is you mentioned the whiteboard when we were working out, like, is this the goal board? Is this something that you drive towards?
I've always used a whiteboard. I actually stole one when I was younger, and it's the same one.
It's the same one, is it?
Big old school whiteboard, huge. Never knew why I wanted a whiteboard back when I stole it, but I knew it would come in handy.
Was there, man.
And it has. I've had it for like 10 years now, and I use it to this day. But I always really personal, professional goals, life goals, mission statement at the start of every year, and I 9 out of 10 times don't miss. I always nail it. So right now, with where we're at, a few things that I've missed out on, maybe by 10, 20 or 1,000 here or there. Whether it be followers gained or weight lifted or financial goal or insert other thing. But majority of the time it's thereabouts. So right now we're just kind of moving towards building the team out more. Would love to get another coach on come the end of this year. Whilst we we scale capacity inside the program, try to get more men on board, more clients, which would be great. Trying to like grow the brand to be more than what it is, maybe more of like an actual people want to be really part of. You know, we're personally, I'm not community driven. As a guy, I'm kind of lone wolf.
I like the lone wolf stuff, yeah. What's that like for someone that's in mentorships or spent a lot of money in mentorships?
I fucking couldn't be fucked with a group call.
Nah.
Don't value them.
So you get the end of it, you get the value, you seek what you need from it, extract it, and then move on.
We've done group calls for our guys back in the day and ran hundreds of them seriously. And I get a wee buzz off doing them and you know, standing in front of the people and giving it the old
pep talk
and stuff.
You spoke on stages as well, haven't you? You spoke at events and things like that.
I like that, but 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night jumping on Zoom for 45 minutes, it's like, just go hit arms, bro.
Well, get that push pull leg split in.
Just get it fucking done. But yeah, what's next? We're the end of this month, we'll hopefully have, not this month, the end of next month, hopefully have everything set up in Dubai. And that'll be our second stomping ground, I'd say. Business will be set up there. Me and Amy will sell everything that we have in the UK. Still be a UK citizen and be back and forth in the UK. Sell everything, sell the car, get rid of the flat.
Peak performance going international then, is that the goal?
Sounds funny to say that.
Sounds good.
But getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Leave it opening up more options, isn't it?
Exactly. There's I've got a lot of network in Bali. And I really enjoyed my time in Australia, New Zealand and stuff. And I think life is to be lived more than anything else. And I've been guilty of being the guy that can just sit in his spare room and call it an office and think I'm taking over the world one Instagram post at a time. But in reality, there's more to it.
Cast your net broader.
Lifestyle design is huge. I really want to look back at my life when I'm older and be happy with the steps that I took. And not just be, I played it safe and anything like that. It's never been the case. It's never going to be the case. It's always take the risk. If you're 51% certain, go in, go for it. So,
what's your favourite thing that you're doing inside your business just now? So you're creating a lot of these ebooks now. What's been one of them that or what stands out in your mind? You're like, fuck man, I love this shit.
I think right now where I've got to with my business is the ability to probably pass down wisdom in a really short period of time. Like some of the mentors I've worked with in the past, they were able to send me like a 13-second voice note and completely change the trajectory of like how I look at life. And I'm getting to a point where, with let's say someone getting in great shape or something, I can almost predict things, and like be like that. Like I don't even need to look at anything. I just have it's like a universal intelligence to be like, this will happen and have the conviction, and it just happens. It's almost like it's like a power. I think that's just like skin in the game, doing reps. A lot of
you can foresee it a wee bit quicker, faster.
Because I don't know how long I've got left of just doing the coaching. There's got me more to it. Like we're building different things out, different marketing. Like I feel like I'm building a business right now.
Yeah, and I think that I've felt this challenge. So it'll be interesting to see your take on it. You're coach, you become the coach entrepreneur, and then you are the business owner, and there's a love and there's a craft towards growing that.
Yeah.
And there's still a passion and drive, it's all you've known, but there is going to come a time where you're going to step back from that.
Yep.
And be the operations guy, being the guy that kind of oversees the coaches. Are you nervous for that point? Do you feel you're ready for that? Or do you think you'll always coach people?
Still a few check-ins to get through.
I think so.
I don't know when the day will come, but I think I'll need to have a larger team and a bigger brand. I think we're still in the infancy of it all, so I've still got to fucking get my hands dirty and keep getting them dirty until the time's right. But I look forward to the day where I just coach a team of staff rather than a clientele.
Yeah, it's like the next level up.
Yeah.
What, are you nervous to? What's your? Maybe not nervous is the right word. Like putting your trust in someone else to run there. So you've had a really good experience with Mark from the sounds of it. He was a client.
Yeah, like he bought one of the fucking plans.
Right, okay, back in the day. Got you.
You know,
So he's been in the ecosystem for a long time. So he understands how you work. Do you think that's how you'll attract future coaches? Or would you be open up to
some
meet and greet?
clients talk a fucking good game to me these days, and it's like, oh, I would love to be a peak performance coach and do this and do that. And then
that's a sign you're on the right track of building a good brand, though.
Yeah.
People want to be a part of, so.
But then nothing comes of it. Then as well, like, see, tell you what, if I had an extra, X amount of money in the bank account, I'd probably hire 2 coaches tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just run with it. But again, like, these moves you have to make come at a cost with everything. Took a long time to train Mark. I've had to build a lot of documents out, teach him how to do certain things. And it's not like I've got a video library on how to do that. It was very grassroots, had to bootstrap it, So if another 2 people came in, I'd have to like have an onboarding for those 2 coming in so they understand it all. I kind of do to an extent, and it's just time, man. Time, money, energy, resources, other things to focus on for right now. So it's like everything that I feel that I want will be on its way. But like I've said with everything else, just step at a time, step at a time. Because I believe in what the kind of mission is, the vision is, and where it's going to be. But it's not going to happen tomorrow, nor is it going to happen in 5 years' time. It might be a 10-year game. Yeah, so
it sounds like you're working on the little wins, the milestones, the small routines and habits that will take you there.
Well, one thing I think about highly and call it small level thinking, but I just think what's the next result, next person, next life change, next testimonial. See if I'm ever having a down day or something. It's like, right, what can we control today? And it's like maybe moving that one client forward one more, and that's it. Because you could have a client roster full of 100 clients that don't get results. You could, if you're good at marketing and sales, but I'd rather just get results.
Yeah, you pride yourself on the results. Good. So another thing I want to kind of dive into, just we'll start to kind of wrap up, but being in business with your fiance and getting her doing certain things and all this sort of stuff, what's that been like?
I think it's been really good.
Good. Did you ever envision that when you're trying to push her away at your younger self?
No, but she's been a great help, man. Like, she gave me my first ever iPhone, and I had like a wee shitty fucking phone before it.
Pure like emo skater guys, like, I don't need technology.
Big time, So she's
rebel.
She's always helped, always wanted to help, And there were certain things that she started helping me with, and I saw instant return. Even when I started my online business, we sat, me and her, on a weekend, made everything, all the documents, PDFs. She helped. She'd done it all with me,
Had you proposed at this point?
No.
When did that become
that happened? When
are you, because when we're younger we date and we don't really think about life. It's like, man, I really want to do life with this person. When did you realise it? Did it just gradually happen?
I think long after, maybe 2 years after I stopped smoking weed, I had clarity.
Connection. Emotion.
Emotion for sure, man. So I didn't know she would ever work for us, but I just felt like over the last week while she was always helping wee bits and bobs, and then I was like, that would be a game changer if she came in and done this full time, and she has, So it's like,
that feel pretty cool.
Feels really cool. Feels very, very cool. It's like the 2 people that are now working with me are on full time salary, and that's it's pretty nice. Pretty nice to be able to do that for people. Scary, have to put them first before me every single day. But it's a good feeling. Yeah.
And next, you were mentioning that you want your brother.
I'd love that.
That would be cool.
I'd fucking love that.
And that is what people don't see. I think people see top line numbers like 6 figures, made X, Y, Z, and it's like, yeah, but you can be just as happy making 30, 40, 50. And it's like, yeah, but look at the opportunities that it does, and fulfillment's it's a weird buzzword into everything. Everybody's different what that looks like, but the people that's in your life, them being happy or you being close to them, like, you connect more with coaches because we have a love for push pull bodybuilding, push pull legs. Rich Piana, like there's things that you can truly connect with people on.
Yep.
And having your family and friends, like being able to bring them into that circle, that must be, it's a badass feeling that it's hard to communicate to people because people's mindsets are so broken down and like, I could never do that.
Yep.
And putting a wee bit more belief in them. And I like that the peak performance starts to tap that energy a little bit and open up or illuminate the lights and along that path for them. And
that's just was never the ambition at the start, but it's became like one of the main drivers for sure. Like that's what kind of gets me pumped up, gets my plums pumping. I love it.
So, well, I'll wrap things up there. So it's a quick 2 hours, bro. So thank you for your time today. So I know you're an extremely busy man. I definitely want to have you back on the podcast, dive deeper into some of the, like your favourite ways to overcome, what do they call it? Like a negative mindset into a growth mindset. Because I imagine through the tons of people that you've trained over the years, that's become, it seems like your forte and stuff that what you can tap into.
But some stuff you can share on that.
But thank you for coming on and see you next time, man.
Bro, unreal.
Cheers. Thanks.